Hey guys, Omni here. We are back for episode 12 of season 4 of Young Justice. In the last episode, we got quite a bit of focus on Zatara's new team, as well as what kind of drives them, moves them forward, their insecurities, as Dr. Fate is testing them because she has gone to him to try to get some help with the fight, the conflict between Child and Klarion. But he doesn't think they're ready, and even despite that, when they succeed their trials, still doesn't want to get involved. And by the point that Zatara is able to actually convince him that maybe we should try to do something, it's a little too late. Clarion's familiar gets its neck snapped. That cat got ruined by the diamond golem, and Klarion has been banished from this world. We got a lot of Fate's backstory, his connections to the Lords of Order, and kind of how he's been trying to stave off chaos and all this stuff, and just apparently doing a pretty crappy job of it. Considering, but it was a fun episode overall, but I'm excited to see where we go with this one, where we're going from here, because it's definitely piqued my interest as far as these storylines have gone. You know, the stuff with Connor and all that was really nice. It was really sweet and somber, and especially tragic how that ended, and I want to get back to that. I want to know more about what happened there. Obviously, we're still seeing the lingering effects of that with Gar still struggling to move on and get over it and heal, kind of damaging his relationship with his team at this point. So I'm wondering where that whole thing's going to go. You know, the Tigress stuff was fun. So far, I think that's probably the one I'm the least invested in, even though there were some cool moments in there. But this has definitely been a lot of fun to learn more about this Earth, this reality, this timeline, this history, and all that stuff with Vandal, his connections to Nabu and Fate and the Lords of Chaos. It's been a lot of fun. And this section's been quite a lot more brutal than I would have expected. But guys, we're going to go ahead and get ready to dive into this thing. So if you want to see the full-length reaction to this, remember that's on Patreon, or if you become a member here on the channel, it gets you access as well. It's just one of the ways you can help support us, help us work towards getting out there and doing some different types of reactions to some other shows, maybe movies, stuff like that. But of course, I know not everybody can do that. A simple way to support the channel, though, is by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing these videos. And it really helps us out in the long run with the YouTube gods. But guys, let's go ahead and jump into episode 12. This one is supposed to say, because obviously the titles of this section have all been backwards because of it's Zatara related, and that's how she casts her spells. But this one actually has a typo in it. Legit. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't look right. It's supposed to say go forth and conquer, but it says go for hit for tea and conquer. Yeah, they added they added an extra letter in there that doesn't need to be there. So good job HBO. You messed up. Anyway, let's dive into this one. Here we go.
For the past few years, I'd been entertaining audiences with my astonishing illusions and wondrous wizardry. But one night, something went wrong. A curtain caught fire without a second thought. I used my magic to put out the flames. The audience thought it was all part of the act. My grand finale. But for me, it was a new beginning.
That'll do it. Oh.
Mother of God, Diamond Guy killed Tico.
It's time to have some fun. Let's start with this eyesore.
Come on, Fate. What are you doing? You shouldn't have needed her protection. And they're really punking Fate here lately.
You dare meddle with a balance of...
I do believe you spared us a lecture.
Damn it, local ley lines have been disrupted.
What is she doing? Did she suck the magic out of them so that she could do something?
Time to unleash the chaos.
It's Hottie Dad!
The helmet's cracked.
Phase Trek 3016.
The hell?
Episode 516. Scene 16.
Shields are failing. There's only one way to survive this.
Cut!
What the fuck, Gar?
Gar, buddy. This is supposed to be life or death for Torque. And at nearly 3 in the morning with everyone on overtime, it's almost life and death for me. Take 17. Action!
Line.
Oh my god.
Now I'm just a flaming diamond careening through time and space. I hate to admit it, but I need a hero.
Okay, kids. Next stop, school. No fussing or frowning allowed on old Charlie's bus.
Oh my god. Is this the same school bus that's flying through space, or is that a different one? Well, I mean, this has to be a flashback. Connor's here.
Dang it, too late. I need an anchor to this mortal plane. This motorcycle will do.
Wait, did he just take over the bus?
I'm taking over your dumb skateboard mortal.
It's a bus.
After saving the audience from the fire, I was moved to do more with my abilities. Superman astonished the world, but behind his heroic acts, I saw an alien from another world. An immigrant like me, fighting to keep his adopted planet safe. Could I not do as much for my adopted country? Inspired by Superman and my daughter, it began. I used my gifts to protect and serve society. Still, I wish to do more.
Dad? Naboo? Anybody?
Your father is well enough.
Now do you believe that child is a threat?
We do.
What the hell was that?
Stealing our power without asking?
There wasn't time to ask. That kid had just demolished the Tower of Fate. I was the only one conscious to even try to stop her from doing it again.
All right.
Yeah, I guess. But please, do not do that again without asking first.
Didn't fix the crack. Oh, great.
The hunt for child will now commence.
Last season, it was all that prima donna crap, but at least you were sharp. Yeah, in the moment. You're like a million miles away.
More like 140 million.
Okay, look, I know your buddy Superboy passed. Do you need some help dealing?
No, man, I'm fine. Just... I'm tired.
So maybe you need a rest, you know, some downtime. We've been building up Harvey's Lieutenant Chow character. He's become a real fan favorite. See, in the suits, think he can carry the load. Just want what's best for the show. And you, of course.
Kent Nelson gave me direction, focus. But between my public stage career and my secret life as a hero, I spent less and less time at home. I hated being away from Cinderella and Zatara, but God, the universe, or fate had other ideas. I tried to be there for Cinderella, for Zatara. But still, I had to perform to pay medical bills, had to fight to protect the world. Then there came another knock on the door.
Well, shit.
Holy moly.
What the actual fuck?
We are too late. Child has come and gone.
And this
Man is forever scarred.
Mary, what you doing?
But we have to help the people here.
We have to save the world.
I have summoned the League, the Outsiders, and every mystic champion I could recruit. Sending heroes to each new crisis as quickly as Madame Xanadu predicts them.
Damn.
Our efforts will be for naught. Unless all of you stop Child herself.
We have to go.
Dang it, I'm heroes.
At least we're kind of getting like an explanation as to why this bus is just fucking every fucking where.
Dang it, they can't help either.
Who's that?
Is that the wizard?
The wizard. Oh, I didn't know what he looked like outside of Stargirl.
Dang it! I feel split in half. I have to go through this twice? Dang it! Whose idea was it to split the earth in two?
Wait, was he just on another Earth? I was confused by that. Split the Earth in two, that comment.
Child is gone.
Man, this kid's working fast.
Finally, we're saved!
Dang it! I keep seeing the same heroes! Dang it!
All right, we're catching up. Oh, I didn't even realize that was the same bus. I just thought it was a bus.
That was them! That's who I need! No, but not this soon!
The loss of my wife sent me reeling. At Kent's suggestion, I joined the Justice League. While I still battled mystic threats, I no longer faced them alone. For just as I had been inspired by Superman, I, unfortunately, had become an inspiration. Thus, in a moment of crisis, my little girl overreached.
Nabu, release my daughter.
No.
Take me instead.
No, please! This was my fault! Dad, don't! Dad!
It must have seemed as if I was abandoning my girl once again, taking my show on the road permanently, giving her no more than 1 hour of my time and attention every year. But I took on this burden, sacrificed myself to save my daughter.
We must surrender.
Well, Gar's taking a break from the show, I guess.
Your species has done a marvelous job melting this polar ice cap, but I believe I can do better. You can't kill me.
Child, your mayhem on this world ends now. For we are the defenders of order.
And for you,
A fate worse than death.
This isn't going to go the way they planned. Yeah, didn't think so.
Ooh, pretty.
Holy shit. I don't know how the fuck they're going to stop this girl.
Like I said, you can't kill me, but I can kill every living thing on this world.
Klarion?
Why do you tell us what you have no need to know?
I tell you these things so that when the time comes, you may tell my daughter. For in this coming battle, I will not allow my daughter to perish. And it will almost certainly take all that remains of my vim vitae for Dr. Fate to survive, let alone triumph.
Damn, man.
I think we have to start thinking about organizing a true Justice League reserves system. Have the feeling we're going to need it more and more in the days to come.
Well, if the stakes weren't raised in the last episode, they have definitely raised themselves even further here. Yeah, this Chaos Lord is all about tipping that balance. Like, fuck your balance. We're just gonna eradicate everything. Going like city to city across the world, just like pillar of flaming everything. That little moment of like Mary like forcibly sucking the energy out of Khalid and 13 definitely was like, I don't know, because she had a power trip addiction before. So I get her reasoning behind it. It's just like that can be a slippery slope, especially if she's like, I'm the only one can do this or something like that. She gets like this ego trip out of it. But in her defense, she was the only one conscious and standing to that point. So we'll just have to keep an eye on Mary. I loved getting Zatara's backstory in this. I've always known of him, but in my experience with DC, as far like as my like formative years and growing up and stuff like that, like he was really only just Zatara's dad to me. I knew he was magic. I know he's part of the League before, but I never really knew or cared to explore more of his backstory because I was just like, I like Zatara. But like it's a tragic story, man. Like his like evolution towards becoming a hero, the sacrifices that came with that, his desire for more, his desire to just help people. And I like his connection to his faith and how that also kind of spurned him forward and helped guide him in a lot of ways, you know, through tragedy, through finding his purpose, even though he had a little bit of a higher calling that caused him to sacrifice his relationship with his daughter and even miss moments with his wife. So there is this catch-22 that does come with that. And it just makes it more tragic for how that came to be. But he was doing things for the greater good in the end. So it does kind of ride this line of should he have been there? Should he have done that? How many lives would be lost if he hadn't? So it's just that usual like downside that unfortunately comes with trying to help other people and make the world a better place. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. And it came a day when he literally had to sacrifice everything to save his daughter. And now he's the prisoner of this mask. Dr. Fate is a really interesting character. And while he's a force for good, or well, force for balance and fate, he's kind of a dickhole when you think about it, Nabu at least, because, you know, he does just kind of like, he's a parasite effectively. He can't really do much of anything without an active host. But once he takes that host, and rarely does he give them the time of day to do their own thing. It's just, I don't know. But he seems like severely nerfed in this, which has been kind of interesting to see. Even like with that power up though, like I don't know what makes this Chaos Lord different than Klarion, other than she's more like astute and focused on the chaos itself rather than just having fun and selfishness. Like kind of Klarion would just kind of get wrapped up in things. He would be baited or whatever. She's just like, that's cool, let's murder stuff. So like I just don't, this one lord and then him, like I would think there would be a balance between that. Like if he was fighting multiple lords of chaos, maybe that would be different because he's like the warrior of order on Earth. So like I'm just like, even with the power boost from the kids and Zatanna into him, still did absolutely nothing. He lost his tower, all of his artifacts. It was just all done while Child is wreaking havoc on the Earth. the stranger is called into the action, the outsiders, the league, everybody that they can get to kind of quell the damage, to the point where even magical villains were getting involved, like Wizard. So it's just it's just getting out of hand. And then we got pretty much the origin story, or a different origin story, more of a clarity, or a Klarion rather, on what the hell has been going on with this crazy bus we keep seeing everywhere. And we got an answer to that. You know, everybody was talking about it because I didn't remember, is like how it's been this running joke for a long time. And now we have the why that keeps coming back, and how, because it comes back to this moment of Klarion possessing that bus because his anchor was destroyed and he needed a new one. So he took the school bus, and he's just been teleporting it through time and space, trying to find the right moment to meet the right set of heroes to help him with this whole situation. So it was really fun. I really like this episode. I like the format so far. I know some people have been like a little harping on how slow burny this season has been, but I really like it because it's developing the characters in the world really well, and I feel like it's just nicely paced for it. You know, maybe the week to week makes it a little bit harder on a lot of people, and like I can get that for sure, because it feels like sometimes the story's barely moving, but I enjoy it because I like these like stories within stories. I think the only thing that's starting to like get a little bothersome is Beast Boy's storyline, because it's just it's just repetitive at this point. Like, I get it, but like we've seen barely any traction on it at all. And where's that going? He lost the show, he's losing his team, he's losing everything. And I get that. That's kind of the point. But like, it's just kind of like, that's the slowest evolution we've seen. We've at least seen we've seen more movement with Magan coming back from this than Beast Boy. So like, I'm just wondering where that's going, and when we'll get back into the game with, or at least get the major idea of what the purpose of that storyline is and where the trajectory is heading. But guys, what did you think of the episode? Sound in the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Remember, you can join our Discord. Make sure to follow me on all my socials. Links to all those are in the description box below. If you want to see the full-length reaction to this, it's over on Patreon, or if you become a member on the channel, gets you access as well. And speaking of, before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny Sherritt, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, Yori Corey Scott, Margaret Grace, Mary Bradley, Jeffrey Hale, and various abominations. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, and everybody who's been tuning in, supporting the series. Thank you for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.